Good evening, welcome everyone to Talking Hands. I'm the Prodigal Fool, I'm here with my co-blogger, the Prodigal Guide.
And I am, wait hold on, give me a second, Straight Six.
Straight Six.
Hey guys.
We're here with, for once, a fairly decent bottle of wine, nice Rioja.
Lovely Rioja.
Deep within my wine cellar. And the watch in question tonight is from a brand that we have a particular affection for their products, but also because they saved our lives at Baselworld. Did
they ever?
For those of you who are following our posts at Baselworld, Six and I were in trouble. We'd suffered the mother of all hangovers, I think. Yes. We were honestly thinking about packing our bags and going home. Yeah. Our first appointment of the day was with Nick and Giles English, who run Bremont, and boy did they look after us and nurse us back to health.
Couple of Cokes, couple of good times.
Check out the post if you have a chance. But here tonight we're going to talk about the Supermarine. Have I pronounced it correctly?
Supermarine 500.
So,
or the SM 500.
SM. I like those initials.
Don't go taking down that.
No.
This is a diving watch that is water resistant down to 500 meters. It has a couple of attributes that are very particular to Bremont. The first amongst them is the triptych case design. Second is a helium escape valve here. You'll be familiar with this from the Rolex Sea Dweller.
What do you mean triptych case design?
So triptych case design, so we've got the case back here. You've got the middle part and lugs in the upper body overhead. The idea behind all of this is a little bit like the MB2. This is a movement that is nicely suspended within the watch. Okay? Resistant to shock, resistant to banging around, all the good things that you would do on a deep dive in various places around the Bahamas. Further beyond that, you have a couple of unique features around it. So the first that I would mention actually is the luminescent bezel with a sapphire crystal that covers it. This happens to be by far the most luminescent and legible watch I've ever come into contact with.
Can you turn this puppy?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yes, you can. Oh, and by the way,
unidirectional. By the way, for the fool who's very particular about this, try and find some play in turning that bezel.
A little, but not much.
Slightly. You've had a lot more on Rolex Submariners, I think, that we've had on this show and looked at beforehand. Second part, you've got a domed sapphire crystal, a little bit rare as well. Usually they're flat. Anti-reflective as well. I think it's got the same 9 coatings that their other ranges offer too.
Okay, and the other big distinction feature on this one is just the damn colour of this thing, the blue.
Blue, guys. Absolutely wonderful blue.
There's all the dial.
So, and a couple other points. Here is an interesting crown protector. You'll notice how it curves outwards at an increasing angle to protect the crown. And most importantly, hey, guess what? Because of the aeronautical theme, you've got a hydroplane that's featured on the back case as well.
Okay, cute.
Yeah, very cute as well. We like that. And guess what? These lines in the middle of the dial, these are the running boards for your hydroplane.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh, wow, you've read the blurb.
I think I have, or somebody's told me this somewhere. In any case, guys, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of design elements at the same time.
Let's stick to our format. You know, we've got some structure around these damn things.
Oh, well, shit, we do. The good, I think, is the differentiation between the standard diving watch and this Bremont SM 500. I think the blue definitely adds to that. You can also get this in black, if I'm not mistaken, as well. All that's kind of dull and a little bit flat. It looks very much like a tool watch. This, for me, brightens up the entire effect. I think the second part is the sheer quality of the construction. We've talked about this beforehand, but Bremont makes some stellar, spectacularly finished and solid watches.
Tested beyond endurance, to use their motto.
Beyond endurance, which maybe means that no human being could ever live beyond it.
Tested beyond death? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, no animals were injured in the filming of this. And I think third and foremost is, this is actually trying to liven up. It's trying to liven up and spruce up your average diver design.
Okay, so your first good is that it's a diver with some personality.
Yes. Okay. It's different. It has a slight exoticism to it. There's some accents and some features. If you look at the hands, for instance, and how they're designed. If you look at the 5-minute markings, both on the outer bezel and on the inner chapter ring, all of this, to me, adds a little bit of spice, basically, to what is otherwise a very dull diver watch world. This triptych design, by the way, is not to be underestimated. We posted a video a little while back about Who was it? Martin Baker, who explained the
No,
fundamentals.
it's not Martin Baker. Peter Roberts is
It's
the
Peter-
technical director of Bremont.
Oh my goodness.
He was talking about the Martin Baker watch. The
Guys,
MB2.
I apologize. Nobody's perfect. But in any case, the quality and the construction of the case design itself, for me, says one thing. This is a watch that's made to last. So when they say it's down to 500 meters, you ain't never going to test it. Most of you will take it into your shower, your bath at most. But the bottom line is, you know it's going to be able to take that kind of pressure. You know it's going to be able to take that kind of heat. I think just in a day and age where all this kind of stuff is getting rather staid and rather predictable, I like anybody who's actually daring to leap into the world of a diver watch design. I think this is extremely difficult to do and to carry out successfully.
Daring.
You don't think so?
I think you're right in the sense that it's a difficult thing to pull off, i.e. to produce a diver watch with its own identity and personality.
That's not a Submariner or 50 Fathoms or whatever.
But in many ways I also think that's one of the drawbacks to this. I don't understand why Bremont feels the need... No, sorry, let me rephrase that. I totally understand why they feel the need to produce a diver watch. Everyone does, right? It
Or
seems
if it feels they should
every brand has to sort of go...
take a hit.
Yeah, everyone has to go to that sort of drinking trough. But I love Bremont as a brand. I love what they're doing, and I associate them for very good reasons with aviation and pilots' watches, etc. So
You think
when I saw this, I don't get it. It doesn't fit with the brand for me. Let's in a moment we'll talk about the specific design points, but just as a concept, why do you need a diver's watch? You're Bremont. You're an aviation brand.
Right. I'm
wearing the MB2 at the moment. Love this. It's a pilot's watch. Makes perfect sense. Fits with what Bremont is.
Ejection signalizer.
This I don't get.
All right.
I don't get this.
Well, guys, I'd only point you to the image on the back of the case, which is a hydroplane.
What? So if you have a hydroplane, you might crash into water. Is that?
Well, and you'll certainly, as you drown and plummet to the depths of the ocean, you'll need a 500 meters watch.
Look, the thing is, we have these discussions, and there's the commercial realities and the marketing priorities. That's one thing, and then there's sort of.
So what you're saying is it's not credible. You don't find that a diver's watch with no Bremont range is not credible.
I just think when you're a young brand like Bremont, you need focus more than anything else.
Okay,
and from my perspective, the diver's watch from Bremont doesn't fit. I don't get it.
So I actually admire a brand that's got the balls to take on the most iconic and seminal watch design that exists, which is to say a diver's brand.
And you think this stands next to a Rolex Submariner or Blancpain 50?
I didn't say that yet.
Okay.
I said I admire the fact that they have the chutzpah to do it. That is an iconic diver's watch. Is iconic for a number of reasons. It's simple, it's legible, it's instantly recognizable, and it's functional. The Bremont, I think, manages to carry off, rather to pull off a number of those areas, but ultimately it gets a little bit fussy, and this is a continuous problem that I have with Bremont, is I would like them to pare back on their design. So I find things like 5-minute markings on the outer bezel, which is superb, and 5-minute markings on the inner chapter ring to be repetitive. And then you only have to look at the third inner ring to find yet more markings again. So this is starting to get very, very, very busy for me. I would like them just to pare it back. It's recognizable, it's different from other diving watches. Let that speak for itself. Don't try to overemphasize the different design elements.
What's your second bad one?
This is very particular to Bremont. I think, and by the way, I keep pronouncing it with a French accent.
I know,
I'm
I
not
was
sure
going to pick you
why.
up on that in a second.
It's Bremont.
Well,
yes.
who
Or is
knows?
it? No, it's Bremont. They've got the name. You know where they got the name from.
The story is now sort of the stuff of common knowledge. Yeah, they got it from a French farmer that they whose field they crash
landed it. So guess what, guys? I make no apologies. I'm going to call it Bremont. Okay, screw it, right?
And I'll continue to call it Bremont.
Yeah, exactly, and we'll agree to disagree.
Bremont, as my mother might say.
I think the second point is the following. Like most of the Bremont products, I think that they have there's a quiet level of understanding and of depth to these watches that most other people will not get. So when I show this watch, for instance, to others, I don't think that they yet understood or were partial to or susceptible to the kind of quality.
When you say others, are you talking about other sort of watch nerds, or
No,
just
I'm
guys
talking
that come across and
good question. I'm talking about non-watch experts.
Yeah.
So I showed it to a lot of people and I asked them, "What do you think of it?" The responses overall were not particularly positive.
But is that? I mean, how much do you think that's to do with someone looking at the dial and going, "Oh, where's the crown? Where does it say Rolex? Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, fine, it must be."
It's an excellent point you're raising, and that's why I didn't really get into a conversation.
People are very
about
narrow-minded, aren't they? Is it a brand I recognise? Oh no, if not, then it must be crap.
But this is the reason why brands like Louis Vuitton work, or people buy Porsches, or people buy Rolex. So these are all instantly ubiquitous, recognizable brands.
So the ignorant people that you are.
My wife was amongst them.
My argument stands. No, sorry, I'm being a little bit light-hearted, but actually it's a totally valid point. So the people who don't know much about watches
would say,
who you showed this to, their reaction was what?
The reaction was, it doesn't look like an expensive watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like an expensive watch. And by the way, in its defense, I found it to be unjustified.
Yeah,
the more time that I spent with it,
I agree.
The more I recognized it had depth, it had quality of construction, and there were actually attempts to differentiate the design from your classic, Submariner or other.
Yeah.
And I thought that's to be respected and to be admired.
I'm almost scared to ask. Any more bad points?
Any more bad points? Well, I don't like this. Okay? And I think, and by the way, we've talked about this before.
Define this, because I'm not sure guys will see on the
video.
Alright,
well, so folks, what you're looking at there is a bracelet that's popping out at an angle that is...
this
not
this
normal.
Shouldn't pop out. It doesn't on this side.
It doesn't on that one. Exactly, it's faster.
Now,
no, but
to be fair,
we're gonna be fair about this.
We're reviewing a sample watch that's been God knows where.
And it's been beaten a number of times, and the proof of that is the amount of skin and other various substances that are caked into the bottom of
and at no extra cost.
Exactly,
all included.
We get to feel literally all the other reviews.
But jokes aside.
You can't,
regardless of how many people have worn this and how long it's been in
can I be honest?
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, fine, fair enough. And I think that's basically where I wrap up on it. It's a tough one, guys. You always find yourself in a position where you want to be encouraging and cognizant of the efforts that were made to deliver a watch and its design. And by the same token, you actually have to be true to where your sentiments lie. Where do my sentiments lie? It's not enough yet. It needs to be pared back. And if that brings it even closer to an iconic design like a Submariner 50 Fathoms, fine. I know that these guys have enough in their construction and their design to differentiate it. But be confident enough that you can get closer to that point.
I have a almost irrational affinity with this brand. I like it. It's British, it's original, it's beautifully made. Every instinct I have says this is a great brand and
agreed.
One that's definitely worth purchasing. I wouldn't buy this. I already mentioned the fact that I don't understand why they're making a diver's watch. To me, it doesn't gel with the brand. But you know what? For the Bremont P&L, it doesn't matter, guys, because I won't be buying this, but I would absolutely love to buy this.
Oh, he totally usurped the entire review.
I've got to show it again.
I can't believe it. Oh, don't pay any attention.
And this is the MB2, and to me, this is what Bremont is all about. It's all there. The DNA is there. The history is there. The design.
So you're saying why do anything else because it's all here?
Well,
basically you are.
This, to me, this is the Bremont you want to buy.
They can't be a one-model brand.
I know they can't, but
right.
we can.
All
we
right.
can.
We
We're
can
just
say
sitting
that.
there having a glass of wine. We don't need to run the company. They do.
Thank
All
God.
we need to do is be annoying critics on the sideline. This is the Bremont I would buy.
All right. So you know what, guys?
Gorgeous.
I don't disagree with them. So in any case, look. But hold on. Let's be fair. What we say is valiant effort. Keep it up. Simplify. Pare it down. And maybe you'll get something that will be competing with this bad boy.
Yeah, this works, and it is quintessentially Bremont.
Yeah.
This looks like you're chasing something else.
Okay, so you know what? Hold on. Whoop. Yeah. Out of the screen. Here's where we stand. So, folks, Until the next time.
MB2.
MB2.
So our review
well, you
of
can't
the
go, you can't
Supermarine
is all about the MB2.
By the MB2.